Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Xeracon and I am back once again. Last week was quite interesting because of Capcom and their usage of Enigma Protection DRM. There was a lot of information flying around, and I'm glad that I waited to make this video since things resolved better than expected, but Capcom still isn't off the hook completely. For a too long didn't watch summary, Enigma has been used for a while and most mods should work. There should be other causes for the Steam Deck selling not being able to play certain titles apart from Enigma, and Capcom is still a scumbag at the end of the day. But with that out of the way, let's start at the beginning. So, it started with this image, or at least this is the one that I first saw. According to this tweet, Capcom was starting to introduce a DRM called Enigma Protection in their older games. This supposedly prevented mods and cheat engines, reduced performance, and caused stutters. Additionally, Enigma was said to break compatibility with the Steam Deck, and I heard a few people say that it even bricked deck units, but I couldn't find anything related to those cases. For the Zero Collection though, it seems like it's just a problem with the video codec or something like that, so that case actually is resolved, or at least it seems like it is for the most part. However, to add fuel to the fire, Enigma is supposedly made by a Russian company, or at the very least, it was paid for by a front based in Russia. Enigma was also flagged 34 times in total virus for containing viruses. Now, this by itself doesn't necessarily mean that it's completely malicious. False positives do exist. When my friends and I were trying to set Monster Hunter Online, all of us received virus alerts even though everything was fine. So these things do happen. However, 34 is a pretty high number. It's not like this was 6 or 8 flags, so I'm still a bit skeptical there. The manner of the Enigma team responding to the situation is also not reassuring. When this was brought up in a thread about this, one of the members of the dev team blew off the concern and said that people just want to cheat, which is why they don't want it in games, which is baloney. Here are some of the reported games that have Enigma Protector in them: Capcom Arcade Stadium, Capcom Arcade Stadium 2, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection Volume 1, Mega Man Battle Network Collection Volume 2, Mega Man 0ZX Legacy Collection, Resident Evil 5, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, Strider, and Ghost Trick. Resident Evil Revelations, from what I could tell, was the first game that was found to have Enigma. However, it was not the first to actually have it, but it was found because of the performance issues it had when it was updated. Capcom removed the Enigma update from the game, but intends to add it back in once they fix the performance issues. But apparently Capcom messed up on their end with the update, which is why the performance tanked. When people look back at the games that had Enigma and when it was added, it turns out that Enigma has been present since at least November 2022. So this has been going on for a while. While I have most of the games that have this DRM, I can't vouch for their performance because they've been sitting in my backlog and I haven't touched them yet. So, where does this leave us? Well, it was discussed initially that the reason for Enigma being added was because of a Street Fighter 6 tournament player using a spicy mod for Chun-Li during a livestream, which set all this in motion. However, looking at all these dates, that's not the case. Capcom has been on this path for quite some time. Additionally, they have had a firm stance against modding, going so far as to call it cheating. Personally, I think this claim of theirs is false. Can you cheat with mods? Yes, but not all mods are cheats. For example, I don't do much modding, but two that I know I use off the top of my head are for the PC versions of Prince of Persia, Sands of Time Trilogy, and Ultimate Spider-Man. Those games did not release with widescreen resolutions when they launched, but people have made mods that allow you to play them in 1080p. And I have a friend who uses certain mods for Monster Hunter Rise, like being able to see the health of monsters and being able to skip the cuts in that place before returning to camp. These all are just quality of life mods, but Capcom regards them as cheating nonetheless. Now, Capcom is already receiving backlash on Steam. Resident Evil Revelations has been review bombed into oblivion, and it seems like other games they make are starting to get review bombed as well, and personally, they deserve it for this. But the kicker is that Capcom is doing all this for games that are 10 years old. Resident Evil Revelations came out 10 years ago. Resident Evil 5 came out a long time ago. Strider definitely came out a while ago. The Battle Network games, Zero Games, and Ghost Trick, while they came out within a year ago, they're re-releases of games that came out a decade plus ago. And Capcom is adding DRM to them because... why? And this leads me to where I stand on this. These are old games. There's absolutely no reason why Capcom needs to add DRM to these games. Granted, there shouldn't be any DRM in games at all. Capcom has earned the goodwill of PC gamers, even going so far as to call the PC platform its main platform. But now it pulls one of the worst anti-consumer practices you can do in PC. I was already disapproving Capcom pricing Dragon's Dogma 2 and potentially Monster Hunter Wilds at $70, but this situation, while not as bad as we all thought, has cemented in my brain to never buy a game from them again. To me, they're on the level of EA, Activision, Ubisoft, Konami, and others. I'm also going to uninstall all games that have Enigma just because I do not trust it. I'll either go back to emulating the older games, playing the DRM free version of Dragon's Dogma that I have on GOG, or try something else. But regardless, to blazes with Capcom. But that will do it for today. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. So until next time everyone, I am iamxeracon signing off. Have a good one.